to a point. I could have went without um
Drag show, like you said, yeah.
the drag show. Yeah.
With that note, welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast with Mikey and the two Chris's.
Holla.
Shall we start with that, or do you want to save that for later?
No, we can start with it. That's fine.
All right. So, as many of you may know, and some of you may not if you live under a rock, Hocus Pocus 2 came out on Disney Plus. I have yet to watch it. I want to, and I've heard mixed reviews. I think the only have you seen it, Mikey?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
you
so
live with a girl, and me and
I'm the
Mike
only one that
have
haven't
not,
watched
and we have seen the Hocus Pocus sequel, and you have not.
it. We've been watching House of the Dragon, Rings of Power,
So
British
have
Baking
I.
Show.
Oh, not
Yeah,
that
really.
one.
Like, what's your
Not that
excuse?
one.
Damn.
Not that last one.
Um, and then we watched the started the remake or the second Mary Poppins movie. But we were busy this weekend. We had our engagement photos. So my one day off on the weekend, we couldn't really watch much.
How did that go?
They were pretty good. We never got them today, but we were supposed to get like sneak peeks today. We might still get them. She's got till midnight. She said Tuesday we'd get sneak peeks. It was like, how long would you say, Kimber? Like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours.
Okay, so what'd you do with the other 22 hours that you couldn't watch Hocus Pocus 2?
Oh
Slept
my
in.
god.
Well, it was a bit of a drive where we went. We had to get ready, decide what we were wearing. Um, then we had to drive there. I played some Madden because I've been hooked on Madden. Um, and slept in and went to church. And that was about the whole day.
That's boring. I thought my
I know
life
I've been hooked on Madden. This Madden's actually kind of fun, but I don't have anybody to play franchise with, so it's probably not going to last much longer. But I have already put. Hold on. Look, I have already put 30 hours into it, so I think I almost got my money's worth out of it.
Hocus Pocus 2 is like an hour and 40 some minutes.
It's kind of short, but it's good. So go on. Well, you can do spoilers, I guess.
I mean, there's not really spoilers. I mean, they're basically these girls, they're high school chicks. They end up with a candle, and they light the candle, and it summons the Sanderson sisters back. Right?
The black
Oh.
flame candle.
Yes, the black flame candle. It summons the sisters back, and they come and run amok throughout the city.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Is the bus driver back?
I doubt it. No.
Okay, don't. Never mind.
What? I have to know. I haven't. It's been a while.
He was the bus driver that picked up the sisters in the first one, and they just made a bunch of like sexual jokes for like 10 minutes. It was really fun.
Oh, I have to know who the bus driver is. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Had a lot. It had the one like critique I saw, like it had bad like CGI's green screen work or whatnot, which I mean it's fine. It's a kids. It's
It's a kids
technically
movie, yeah.
it's kind of a kids movie. It's family movie. And I mean it really wasn't like it's not like you're going to go in there and expect it to be awesome. Like the CGI going to be like Rings of Power awesome or something like that. You just don't expect that. Like I didn't expect that. I don't know what people were thinking. It's like, oh, it's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be like perfect. They're stupid for thinking that. But
The only other person from the original movie was Doug Jones, who played Billy Butcherson. The guy, the zombie guy. Had
yeah,
his mouth sewn shut. He was the only one that returned from the original movie, aside from the Sanderson sisters.
Oh, so none of the kids were back?
no.
But okay, so they show like the younger version of it shows them how the Sanderson sisters become who they are. And the kids that played the young versions of young Winifred, young Mary, and young Sarah did a great job. I will give it that. They
Yeah,
were really good in their parts as the younger versions of all three of those. Um, There was that's what I was talking about Mikey with Mikey about. There's a scene where they do like a Halloween, like a costume contest, like a Sanderson sister costume contest, and of course they turn it into guys dressing up in drag. And I don't think it's not necessary. Why you got to push that agenda? That bothered me. I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It's a movie, but it's a kids movie. You know what I mean? Why can't you just do it for what it is? So that and the thing I noticed, I'm not like do what you want, but and I'm a big Disney fan and I watch horror movies, but they kind of play off like witchcraft is like this fun little thing that you can dabble in, and everything's cool and hunky dory and fun. And like I think that's a little irresponsible. I mean, if you go through the years, The Exorcist, Witchboard was a movie. Um, Ouija, about Ouija board. Anytime there's somebody playing with a Ouija board, there's dangerous consequences. Anytime you deal with the occult, witchcraft, anything, there's always consequences, and that's what the horror movies prove. That there's always consequences to dabbling into the dark side per se, right? This has none of that whatsoever. There's no consequences to your actions as you dabble into witchcraft from this movie, and I think that's a little. I mean, I never ran off a cliff like the coyote, and I never stuck a piece of dynamite under somebody, or as a kid when I was watching cartoons. But you do have those idiot kids that they see this, and it can
There's
open
a
up doors.
reason they had to put "Do not attempt this" at the beginning of everything.
I don't even know if they did that though.
But okay, let me say this. I mean, I would say I would say it's I figured they don't take it seriously because they don't think it's real. I don't think anybody should think it's real.
I mean, watch it with your kids. Let your kids watch it, but you need to explain to them that this shit is serious and it's dangerous, so don't mess with it.
But I think we all know that magic's not fucking real though.
Yeah, but kids don't. Kids are stupid. You know.
There were kids
But I mean,
sacrificing people to Slender Man. Let's be honest. And
yeah,
Slender
that's a
Man was a
Oh
mythical
YouTube
well.
creature.
video
Yeah,
series.
I mean, that's the truth.
Alright.
I'm not condemning the movie. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it a lot. But if you're gonna watch it with your kids, you need to. I mean, show them Witchboard, where the girl gets possessed by the demon. Show them The Exorcist. Show them what happens if you play with a Ouija board and what really goes on when you.
The
kind
movie Ouija was scary enough.
Exactly. Show them. Let's watch this. Okay, witchcraft is not all hunky dory and fun. And okay, so at the end, they like the Sanderson sisters, the two stupid ones kind of disappear. And
Why they disappear?
Bette Midler is left on by herself, and so she like upset about it, and that ending bothered me because she like turned into a good witch at the end. Come on, I know she's that Sanderson. She's selfish. Why would she care? You know, she's
Yeah.
Winifred. She would not give a shit if her sisters weren't around.
She tried to kill her sisters in the first one.
Right. So I just thought that was
But I mean, it opened up like she stood up for her sisters, though, kind of, because they
yeah.
were gonna
She got
take
better.
they're gonna take them away, and she said she's chasing after them. Like
I mean,
how
it's a cute movie. I thought it was better than the first one. And
yeah, it had the same had. This is what something else I read about it. It's like despite some of the critiques, I guess. I mean, a lot of people thought it had the same feel as like a Disney original movie.
yeah,
Like it had that charm to it.
it really did. Yeah. Like, watch it with your kids, but educate them at the dangers of witchcraft because they just kind of make it because the teenage girls, the new people they go after in this movie is they have a little coven and there's a witch and they just kind of make it look cute, and I think that can be a little I think they can be a little dangerous. So if disclaimer, watch it with your kids, explain to them don't mess with witchcraft or
Don't be sacrificing people because, it's not good.
right. I mean, it's already bad enough from the first one they eat children. But I thought that was kind of cool. So I don't I'll never condemn. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch that movie. I just seems to me Disney seemed a little irresponsible because, like in Snow White, the witch wanted to make herself ugly and she couldn't turn herself back. She was ugly. Like, you know what I mean? She danced with the devil and she got burnt. Is a sin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've kind of skipped that. So, but watch it. It's a fun movie. I kind of enjoyed it. I did not. I was not bored. It paces really good. Cast is really good. It's got its hokiness, but it's a Disney movie. It's a cute little movie. You should watch it with your fiance, Chris.
I will.
Said, oh,
It's on the docket. I get home at 6, so there's not much time to really do much. It's make dinner, watch one or two things,
yeah,
episode,
yeah.
go bed.
Yeah,
Because I go to work. I got to be at the garage at 6, and then I got to wake up at 6, or and I don't get off till 6.
probably make almost the same amount of money at Target or Walmart.
Yeah, but the benefits and the overtime make up for a lot of it.
I suppose if you don't want to have a life.
Well, I do, so
No, I mean because you work all the time.
yeah. So that's why I'm looking for something.
Oh, apparently, I'm just reading that. I just came across this. Apparently, you can rent a reconstruction of or recreated uh, cottage of the Hocus Pocus house. You can rent it on Airbnb.
Oh, really?
They do that
Yeah.
with a lot. Like you can Airbnb the what's the movie where he's the Home Alone? You can rent the Home Alone house.
You
Yeah.
can rent the Home
Um,
Alone house. I think you
yeah,
can stay
it's
at the Christmas Story house too.
yeah, and I honestly I thought I saw you could like stay at the Exorcist house.
You could stay at the Lizzie Borden house.
Which
No
one's that one?
thanks.
Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks.
Oh,
Lizzie Borden, she killed her parents. Well, there was no proof that she killed, but she killed her parents. But she got acquitted like OJ. So she's still looking for her the killer, or an OJ. But
try to put
back
this
in the
glove
1800s.
on and then make it look it fits, but you
It's
have a
like
hard time putting it on.
yeah, it's like a super famous murder house basically from the 1890s. I think it's 1880s.
Sounds like fun. Let's go.
They say it's haunted, so I'm all for it.
Oh, anymore. What place isn't haunted? It seems like.
Yeah, my hallways are bleeding every time I walk through 'em. And I lick them, and schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
That's funny. So, what have you watched, Chris? Oh, House of the Dragon. I fell asleep to
Yes.
it, so I didn't see too much of it. So.
It
But
was a
you know
good
what is great about
episode.
that show? So you can like watch the show and fall asleep, and then just watch the recap at the end of the credits, and then you don't have to worry about missing anything.
Well, you
Oh,
know that
jeez.
she got it on with her uncle. She got married
Yeah,
to her
she's an
uncle.
uncle. She's the Uncle Fucker.
Uh,
That's your
yeah.
fucking face, Uncle
Uh,
Fucker. The first thing I thought of when I saw
oh,
it.
jeez.
Just waiting
I
for
thought
her
the
to
kids
dance
were
and
going to
fart.
kill each other.
Huh?
I thought those kids were going to kill each other.
That was I
Yeah, I
slept
thought
through that.
someone
I
was
saw
gonna
that
get
at the end of the
stabbed.
credits, though. Man, it's some vicious kids.
Well, hey, if someone stole my mom's dragon, I'd be kind of mad too.
The oldest, biggest dragon.
Well,
Fuck.
didn't the Uncle Fucker
That thing's
marry her
massive.
uncle?
Yeah, she did. That's
Yeah.
what I said.
Yes.
They got
Yes.
married at the end
Yes, they did get married.
in the Targaryen way, with like the blood and the kissing and the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the blood and fire or whatever. Fire and blood, whatever.
Yep.
Ugh,
Hell
man.
I don't know. It's one of those episodes that it was good, but there's not much to talk about because it's mostly like it's very much building up the next or episode 9, the big one.
Is that the last episode of the season?
No, 10. But remember, Game of Thrones, the best episode is always episode 8 or 9.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was episode 7, so episode 8 is up next.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. You're right. There isn't a lot to talk about other than she married her uncle and the kids beat the shit out of each other.
The lines were definitely drawn of like who's fighting who.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess like the big question is what side is the Valyrian family on? Are they gonna stand by themselves, or are they gonna join Daemon and Rhaenyra?
Right.
I bet they join them because he
They
said
have,
it doesn't matter about blood; it's names that history remembers.
yeah.
It's very true. We don't care who was as long as it's the same name.
I suppose.
You don't know who in the past was a bastard. We know Chris is a bastard.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
No, well,
can I
speaking of
talk
which,
about? Oh, go ahead.
did anybody watch Andor?
No,
No.
I am waiting for it all to come out, and then I'm
Or
just
as
gonna plow
I
through.
have renamed it, and Bore, because
Has it not
no
gotten
ain't
any better
friggin'
since
going
the
anywhere.
first? Has it not
They
gotten
did
better
use
since that first episode?
no, it hasn't. It's slow as hell. It's like another show, and then they throw in some like Tie Fighters or other Star Wars things here and there to make it look like a Star
You
Wars
know what
show.
it reminded me of, and I hate to compare it to this, The Walking Dead. As in, like the beginning
Uh,
was like, oh yeah, let's go, and then like the middle of the episode is like, snorefest, and it ended kind of with a bang.
They did use the McLaren factory though as Coruscant, which I thought was kind of cool.
Really?
Yes,
Did
like
they?
the McLaren Formula One. Yeah, they use it as like a little base kind of thing.
Oh, for some reason I thought you meant DeLorean.
No,
So
McLaren
I was thinking
car.
DeLorean.
No, there is a. I think they're trying to redesign a new DeLorean.
They are. They're trying to
But no,
bring
yeah,
the
no,
DeLorean back.
McLaren, like McLaren Formula One. They
Oh yeah.
use their factory for a scene, and I've seen a picture of it. It's really cool on it. But other than that, Snooze Fest, I don't really want to talk about that much of it because I can't tell you what's really going on.
Like I said, I'm gonna wait till that first episode put me off so much. I'm waiting until it's done just to power through it. I have not heard. So usually like with Mandalorian and Boba Fett and like other shows that people are talking about all the time on Facebook.
Yeah,
I really think this is just getting drowned out by Rings of Power and House of the Dragon.
I don't
Nothing
know
is as
about
good as
Rings of
those two.
Power, but
I've been here, dude. Okay, so I'm on episode 4 of Rings of Power now,
uh,
and I gotta say, I think it's almost better than House of the Dragon.
I don't know.
Almost, it is. House of the Dragon is a 10, or let's say House of Dragon's 9. Lord of the Rings is 8.9. It is that close, in my opinion. It is little knowledge I have of Lord of the Rings and that like universe. It's like scratching the itch I've had for a while to get into that universe. It is like all the backstory you want. It's like scratching that itch. The story's pretty good. The one problem I've had is some of the episodes are really slow, but it's kind of like the episode we just watched in House of the Dragon of it's basically just building story for what's coming, and you just got to get through it. Since we're so used to like watching like Cobra Kai, watching it all in a day or two, um,
except
we
Mikey.
forgot how shows used to work of well, we have 2 or 3 episodes of just story building, and then we do some action. So I think that's just some of our issues right now with that show. But Amazon did a good job. I can't complain.
If you say so.
Although episodes don't need to be an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes long.
That's too long. I hate when that's like 2
Give,
episodes.
I complain about like Star Wars and stuff being too short. I'm going to complain about them being too long also. If it's going to be that
45,
long,
45 to 55 is usually good. Good.
Yeah.
Is good.
If it's any longer, just make it a movie.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
um. But yeah, how far are you into it, Mikey?
Rings of Power.
Yeah. Did you stop?
No, I watched that latest episode.
Okay, I heard the latest episode was dope as shit.
Yeah, it was good battle scenes. Um, the action in the show is really like it's top tier.
Well, that first episode, the action was
Yeah, good choreography and stuff. Um, and it feels real. Like the stakes are really real. Like I know it's like some movies and shows. Like it's like, oh, if they lose, oh, who cares? Almost like they'll get another chance. But it's like this one's like this is for everything. You know, like every battle is for humanity, for the land. I mean,
even though we kind of know,
yeah,
but we don't know how they get there.
right. Um, yeah, the s- like I guess, and this thing that had like whole army of orcs, or this whole army of orcs, and then you just have this little like party of humans, and then that one elf, that one main elf, I forget his name.
Galadriel,
No, no, it was another elf
Elrond.
that no,
Oh, the black guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't remember his name.
yeah, um, so they kind of like try to defend this outpost, and they have to. It's more cunning than it is like strength, of course, because they're outnumbered. And
Okay, I'm
yeah,
gonna try to pronounce
there's
his
a
name.
lot going on.
I'd rather try to pronounce his elf name than his real name. That way, Arondir. I think that's how you say it. I'm gonna go with that. Arondir.
Yeah, sure.
So, dear, Ron, dear.
But yeah, it is good. Oh, what? Wow, man! I thought of something real good while watching it, and why like it doesn't. Okay, here we go. So if I were after this series is done, and maybe I wait a little bit, watch it again. If I watch it again, like after watching it the first time, I guarantee you I'll enjoy it so much more. Because I know, because when they talk about other characters in the movie, like I'll understand like who they're talking about. I could see their face. I could see it. I mean, because
Just like Game of
sometimes,
Thrones.
yeah, that's what I was like. That's what I was thinking of. Because like beginning of the Game of Thrones, like you ever watched it for the first time, you're like, okay, who the fuck is that? Like,
Right.
who are they talking about? But after you watch the series and watch it again, like it gets that much better. So like if you're watching it for the first time, you don't read the books, you barely watch Lord of the Rings, kind of like I did. Uh, I would say just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Stick with it. Maybe watch it again if you have time. Might like it. So
Would you say wait
I'm
for it
giving
all to
it a
come
chance.
out, or now when there's enough out that you can?
Um, yeah, maybe it'd probably be okay just to let it all come out because I don't think if something does come across on some social media timeline that might you probably won't get spoiled. I mean, people are pretty careful about that nowadays, unless you're really looking for a spoiler, and
Well,
then you'll find one. But
I scroll through Facebook on. I can't scroll through Facebook on Monday because it'll spoil House of the Dragon. I have to watch House of the Dragon. That's why we do these on Tuesday because I watch
I've
House of the
never been
Dragon on
spoiled by
Monday.
House of the Dragon on Monday. If I watched
I because you watch it on Sunday.
Not always.
Well, no, so because I've liked stuff and Facebook, algorithm and crap. I get a lot of like meme pages. So I knew that they were going to get married. I knew about a lot of the stuff, but I don't know if I remember if it was spoiled or if it was just, stuff that was in the, you know, on next week's episode.
Right.
Next week's episode of Dragon Ball Z. Um, so I just want to talk a little bit about Lower Decks because the last episode of Lower Decks is probably the best episode of the series so far.
You said that last week.
Well, I say that this week too because this week they went to Deep Space Nine, and they had um, two people reprise their roles. Nana Visitor replayed her role as Kira, and not Renee, he's dead.
Rhaenyra,
She was
yeah.
Armin Sherman reprised his role as Quark.
Okay, I mean,
And
we're
it
the one that
just,
gets the boner over Star Trek characters, not us. So we don't know what you're talking about, but that's
yeah,
okay.
but we have fans that do, like Tim, because Tim doesn't come anymore. But I think it's because we do it during the week. But because I'm pretty sure he works during the week, and I don't know, he just doesn't seem to answer. He posts stuff still,
Right.
but oh
Oh,
well.
it's done.
Like I said, or like I was going to bring up to you guys after the show, but I can just say here, I want to after House of the Dragons, I want to kind of reset and bring the podcast back to recording on like Saturdays or Sundays.
Oh, that's fine. I agree with that. That's cool.
But I want to take like a week or two off.
We can
Maybe
take
I
a
don't
week
know.
off. We'll take a week off, and then we can
Reset.
watch
Energize.
more shit, and
Catch up on stuff.
yeah, because I'm tired of watching. Like I binge watch hell out of stuff like all at one time, so we have content to talk to.
Watch.
Well,
I'm serious, Chris. Did you watch last episode or last season of Lower Decks? Or
I've
did you
not.
stop watching?
No, I'm I'm on this kill people documentary kick lately, so I haven't watched
Oh,
a lot of it. But I do want to. I mean, it's on my list of things I'm definitely gonna watch.
um,
But new stuff comes out, and then I watch it. Like I watched that Blonde movie on Netflix, and it don't bother. It's a waste of time. It sucked ass, and I don't even know why it was NC-17 because I've seen far worse than a rated R. That's all I gotta say. Don't watch it. Waste of time.
I don't know the
Anna
cat.
de Armas is a great Marilyn Monroe, but other than that, her performance is great. But other than that, it sucks.
All right.
So
Do you guys want to get into kind of the risky topic? Kind of political that we don't really do a lot, but it's kind
well,
of
go ahead, bring it up. I'm ready because it's really not as bad as you think it is. Let's put it that way.
so the writer, director, and star. I don't know what else he did. He's complaining that the movie Bros, which is basically gay rom com, flopped.
Two men with commitment problems attempt a relationship. So yes, it is a rom com. This is correct.
And he went to Twitter to complain that it's because of homophobia and other things that movie flopped. But you want to know why I didn't see it, and not that I
Because
would
it
see it
doesn't look good.
anyways. Well, I
because
wasn't even going to say that. I didn't
it's
even
not
know it
your.
came out. I
I
never
don't.
even knew it came out.
I don't think it's our demo. I don't
It's
think it.
not.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. That's exactly right. It's not.
Where's
We're
where's
guys,
our representation?
right? Guys. I mean, guys don't go see rom coms as it is unless it's a girl.
Unless we're going on a date, or our lady wants to go see it.
But I read somewhere where they were talking about this, and they were like, it's not. It doesn't. It only fits a certain demographic because girls want to go to a rom com with. This is what they said, not me. But that where the girl gets the guy and she gets everything she wants and lives happily ever after. That's why they want to go to a rom com with a guy and a girl. But because the reason nobody went to see it was because it was about gay people. We can throw that shit out the window because I have two blockbuster movies that made bank that had to do with homosexuality.
Let me
And
guess. Let me
actually,
guess. Let me guess.
okay,
Brokeback Mountain.
no, although that is one of them. That's three. Right. There was a third one. I couldn't remember what it was, but it was Brokeback Mountain.
I still never seen that.
I haven't either. I don't know. They just came out.
I caught it.
It's
It was
not
on
my
like
demographic.
back when HBO had 3 or 4 channels. I caught it one time, and I didn't know what it was because that was kind of before they even had like the hit the info button on what you're watching. So I just
Right.
watched a little bit of it, and then all of a sudden, two guys started making out, and this was literal like middle school Chris. I was like, Okay, I'm not watching this.
Okay,
I
so the
enjoyed it
I'm
up
first.
until
starting to
that
feel
part.
funny down there. I can't. I can't. I got
Lovingness
to turn
is
it off.
wrong. I don't want to be
It's a
right.
sin. It's a sin.
Okay, so the first example I have of a movie that had to do with homosexuality made bank. Not only made bank, but the person in the movie won an Oscar for Best Actor, which is the movie Philadelphia. Actually, Springsteen won an Oscar for his song "The Streets of Philadelphia," which was about an AIDS discrimination lawsuit. Back in this came out in 1994. It was a $26 million budget, right? Opening weekend, no, not opening weekend, but worldwide gross $206 million, almost $207 million that it grossed, and that had to do with homosexuality, right? Another example of a movie regarding homosexuality, which was a movie that made bank, and it is one of my favorite movies because I think it's one of the funniest performances of that I've seen of the two actors in the movie, is The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane.
That was a good movie.
That movie is freaking hysterical. Every time I watched it, I die laughing.
I do too.
It had a $31 million budget. It grossed $185 million worldwide, and that is about a conservative. So the Birdcage. So they have a son. Well, Robin Williams, he had a thing with a woman, and they ended up having a son. So him and Nathan Lane are a couple on Miami Beach, and they have a son, and he is marrying this girl. And the girl he is marrying, her dad is a very conservative senator from Ohio. So they want to get together and meet, and it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Robin Williams and Nathan Lane are both hysterical in it. So you can't say that I don't want to go see a movie because it has to deal with gay people, because it has nothing to do with it. It just doesn't look good to me. I remember seeing The Birdcage at the movie theater, and I was dying laughing because that movie is so funny. So before people go and say, "Oh, it's controversial," people don't like it because they don't want to see a movie about gay people. Put out a good movie. Put out a movie that interests everybody instead of trying to make it an agenda rom com, because I just think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then, of course, they complain when it flops. Because, when other things flop, it's, racism or whatnot.
Yeah,
It, it
they've got to have a political reason behind it, other than maybe it's just a shitty movie.
yeah. And he turned off all the comments to his tweet.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I was reading some of the. I didn't read the tweet directly, but I was reading. I think Ben Shapiro had an article. I was reading what people were saying. Don't put out a crappy movie. Maybe it's because it sucks. Nobody wants to see it. And
Well, I was even going to say maybe because there was the advertising for it. I never knew it was out. I never saw any advertising for it.
well, Smile came out this weekend, and I think it won the box office for the week.
It
Which
did, but
I
Smile had
hear
great
is
advertising.
really good.
Smile had the advertising where they were putting people behind
Behind the
primetime baseball games
Yeah,
behind the catcher.
that's
Just with a
genius.
creepy ass smile on them.
That's genius
I
marketing.
swear
I
I
hear it's
saw they
really
even
good.
had they had been- I swear I saw somewhere they had even the camera just focused on him.
They did. They zoomed in
Did they
on them.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Like it was the camera shot was just going down the aisle where everyone was profile, right? Everyone was looking towards the field, and you could only see the side of their face. Well, at the end of the aisle, it just had that one person standing up, facing the camera with this shirt on that said "smile" or something, and just looking at the camera, smiling. Like it was
Really?
pretty creepy.
Yeah, they had a
Really.
great marketing thing. But I mean, horrors in I don't know what superhero movies are in. Rom coms are not in at all
No,
whatsoever.
rom
But
coms are not a thing
they're
right
just not good. They're not funny anymore. There's
now.
just
So,
a lot
well,
of.
that last rom com I saw with Owen Wilson and J Lo, that was pretty good.
That was a good movie. That really was.
But
I enjoyed that.
it had a good plot. It had a good story.
Yes. Yeah, you just can't put and I mean, and I know there was a time where you could put a rom-com out and people would flock to the theater to go see it. And it's just not, it's just not doing it anymore.
No, it's rom coms are on the out right now. They'll be back
I mean,
eventually.
a lot of comedies in general are out. Kevin Hart makes shitty ass comedies, and they're on Netflix, and you know,
That's just where we're at right now. Comedies, rom coms are just not in.
no,
They're just not the thing. And you can't blame people for being homophobic or whatever. You might be able to blame some people. I'm not going to lie, but you
no.
can't blame everybody.
I mean, that am I going to go? See, but am I going to? Am I going to go see that movie? No, I am not. But you know what else? I'm not going to go see a foreign film where I got to read subtitles either. That doesn't mean I'm anti-German or anti-French. You know what I mean?
I'll
Just
watch
means,
a foreign film at home where I can pause it and read,
but I'm
and
not gonna.
watch it at my own pace.
I'm gonna go watch a horror movie. I'm gonna go watch a movie where they blow shit up.
Yeah,
That's just that's not my demographic. I'm not gonna watch a rom com. You know, I'm not sitting around crying. You know, that you know of, and my
hey,
popcorn
hey, we're all
un-
men,
under a blanket watching. Bridget Jones.
What did you say? Sorry, I clicked on something and there was music coming out.
So, but I mean that is what it is. They let him think what he wants. I don't care. You know,
Yeah, he got blasted on social media.
he
That's all I
should.
know.
He should because he called people out because nobody went to see a shitty ass movie. So, oh, wham wham. Speaking of controversy, there are two, count them, two documentaries you guys should watch that are both one is extremely disturbing and the other one is well it's kind of disturbing too, which was it's called Eat the Rich, the GameStop saga.
Oh,
So
it was about
it's about the stock.
the stocks, yeah, stock thing.
Let it
Yeah,
ride.
GameStop was down because nobody goes to the mall anymore and everybody and they talk about it in the documentary. GameStop was a store I passed on the way to Target or Victoria's Secret. Their stock was at $4 a share at one point, right? Well, I guess in Reddit you can belong to these different rooms in Reddit. I'm not on Reddit
Oh, he
that much,
doesn't.
so
So okay, Reddit is a online forum, and there's different forums you can join.
yes.
So
So
there's one for like Steam and other things. I'm just
yeah,
explaining it a little bit for people
so
out.
what happened was there was this guy on Reddit. His name was Roaring Kitty, and he just happened to like GameStop as the stock. He really thought it was going to go somewhere. So they were telling people buy, buy, buy. So they were buying up the stock, right?
Well, no, because he saw that the stats were showing that
Yes,
the rich people were using it to do something. I don't know the exact
the hedge
terminology.
fund, the
Yeah,
hedge fund people. Yeah. So what happened was he was telling people to buy this stock.
because
So
the hedge fund people were trying to sell. Sorry, I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
no, 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 no. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I had to do it with the hedge fund. So basically, the hedge funds got screwed because regular people were buying this stock. People like me and you were buying this stock because you could buy it on Robinhood, right? The Robinhood app, you could buy it on. So they kept buying and buying and buying, and it skyrocketed. So at one point, I think it was over maybe a year's time. So in January of 21, at 7:22 in the morning, it was at $504.99, right? Because people kept buying the stock. Robinhood eliminated the buy option. You could sell your stock, but you could not buy any more GameStop stock. By
Yeah.
11:19, it was down to $126 and a penny. They took the buy button out of the stock ticker. They removed the stock ticker, everything. And
Yeah, because they were told by their hedge fund buddies to take it off.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And like there was like a big government investigation into it.
Yeah.
It was and I mean because I mean and they even talk about it. You know, average people like us, we're not going to get rich on the stock market. It's never going to happen because we're not risk takers. We think that we can get rich. We might get a couple grand, but we're not
We're
becoming
not gonna
millionaires.
put we're not gonna put our entire life savings into one stock and
Right?
watch
Like
20,000 turn into
this guy
20 million.
gambled. This guy gambled and he basically bet his 401k like $31,000 and invested it in GameStop. These people are dropping $50,000 every time they buy this stuff, or $10,000 or $6,000. I don't have
But you
that
got to
kind of
also
money to
think
gamble
they're
with.
not playing with their own money. They're playing with our money.
Well, no, some of these people were playing with their own money.
Oh, I thought you meant like the hedge fund people
No, not
playing
the
with
hedge
like
fund people, but the Reddit people. But here's the thing: if I saw that my $4 stock had gone up to $500 and it dropped to like 475, I would have sold that shit in a heartbeat.
yeah.
Because if I saw that, okay, it's dropped $25 in this amount of time, let's dump it. Because you can always buy it back. You know what I mean?
Um, can I?
But
So because of that, Elon tried to do the same thing. He's being investigated right now because he was promoting Dogecoin. The cryptocurrency, one of the cryptocurrencies. He
yeah,
kept
I've got some.
promoting it and ride it to the moon or whatever the meme was. And then when it got to a certain point, he sold it and then crashed it because
Yeah,
he made a cool billion, but he burned everybody else on it.
right. Yeah,
But
you're right. You're
he's
right.
sitting there on his social media promoting it, and I
Right.
think that's also why the government's are investigating it.
And it should be investigated.
Yeah.
Anything like that. But
Can I say one thing about Game? Sorry, I keep interrupting, but can I say one thing about GameStop?
go ahead.
They saved themselves. They moved away from hard copy because no one buys hard copy games anymore. Not every. I shouldn't say no one, but not everyone buys digital games now.
Yeah,
Steam,
it's
Origin,
greatest thing in
Xbox,
the world. Let's
PlayStation.
wait 2 hours for a fucking
Um,
game to update.
GameStop turned into a merch shop. They got pops, they got clothes, they turned into a
Well, you can
box
buy
lunch
used
or an
games there
FYE.
too.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that, but I think they saved themselves moving to merch. They saw the future and they saved it. Granted,
Yeah.
I think GameStop's a dying business, but I think they were able to prolong it another maybe a decade with merch.
Well, it's very possible. It's very possible. But it is
And
really
they
good.
still
It's
have they still have exclusive deals there. You buy the game at GameStop and you get certain things.
watch the documentary. It's I think they're less than an hour. So every episode, all these documentaries, they're less than 3 hours long. It's like a long. It's like less than watching one of them stupid ass Lord of the Rings. It'll take you less time to watch this whole documentary than to watch one of those. So watch it. And then there's another one on Hulu. No, not Discovery Plus, called House of Hammer, and it's about the actor Army Hammer, who was in the Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp, and he was also the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network, and he played in the reboot of Death on the Nile. Did you see the reboot of Death on the Nile, Chris?
No.
It was another unnecessary remake. Anyway, he's a really, really good actor, but he was caught up in this sex scandal. And okay, again, with the women are stupid thing, like the stuff he was texting these girls, and he said the same thing. It was scripted. Like he had 3 different women he treated this way, maybe 4, maybe more. We don't know. Like 3 or 4 are the only one that came forward. They all had bite marks. He's like, I want to eat you. Like, okay, if I said that to a girl, Army Hammer gets away with saying that to some hot chick that he's interested in. I say it, I'm getting my
Well,
ass
I
locked
mean,
up. Then he says,
he
I
is
want
sexy as fuck. I mean, he can
right,
get away
but
with
then
it.
he's like, I want to eat you, like, and he was like serious about it. Like, he's like, he would like bite them like really hard and leave a mark on purpose, and like, you're my baby, you're my sex slave, you're my kitten, you're my everything, and you're so beautiful, I miss you, I can't live without you. Like this is the shit he was saying. Then he's like, I want to remove one of your ribs and eat it.
Yeah.
Hey, I can
Then
go for
he's
some baby
i-
back
i-
ribs.
if I could remove your heart and keep you alive, I would eat your heart raw. This is the stuff he's saying to women. And they're like, I thought it was a little odd, but you know, our conversations were kinky and sexual. So I didn't really think anything of it. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy said he was going to remove your heart and eat it. He's like, I want to cut your skin and eat it. Like, again, if I say that to a girl, she's gonna have my ass locked up. But like, um, one of
Hold
the
on, can I
first
ask you something,
victims.
Chris? Have you
What?
tried?
I was thinking about it. It's like, this is what girls want to hear because I mean, uh, you know, I, I have not. And he was talking about how he went hunting and he cut the heart of a deer out that he shot and he ate it raw while it was still warm. And like he is like really like weird and freak. But here's the clue that the girls should have got. He said he told one of them, I would never have like he was into BDSM, which is really not BDSM because he essentially would tie these girls up and rape them. That's basically what he was doing. BDSM is consensual. It's instruction. It's in, that's what they talk
We don't
about
need
in
to
this
be talking
documentary.
about that.
It's
This is a
it's
rated R podcast, not
it's
a.
it's it's about being comfortable with each other, and it's about getting permission. And he did none of that whatsoever. And one of the girls, she said that he found out he was dating somebody else, and she saw pictures of her on her Instagram, and she had bruises on her thighs, bruises on her back, she had bruises on her neck from when he was biting it. Like it was the same thing that she went through. And then come to find out, like his whole lineage, his great grandfather started Occidental Oil, invested in it, and became a billionaire. His grandfather was rich, his father was rich, but they all sexual assault. They cheated on their wives. They had, you know, there's a whole lineage of issues there. So he's just part of that lineage of. He just took it a step further with the whole cannibalism thing. But it's 3 parts. It's really crazy. And like even one of the Hammers, like his aunt wrote a book about it, and she's been blacklisted by the Hammer family. So his grandfather is Armand Hammer. That's his name. But it's seriously disturbing. I mean, he's essentially illegally he's like Dahmer. He is no different, except he don't kill his victims. But they don't know that. You know, he's under investigation, but the
If his
DA
family's
thinks
got that much money, I'm pretty sure
it's exactly right.
they know how to hide a body
He's hired. Well, he never killed anybody,
that we
but
know of.
his the lawyer he's uh hired is a it's the same lawyer who's represented other famous people with sexual assault cases. So, but the women in the documentary who he assaulted has Gloria Allred as her lawyer. So that woman don't back down. She's pretty vicious when it comes to court cases. So I hope those women win because, and they all had, like the thicker, not thick eyebrows, but they had like the wider eyebrows. The women did. They all had pouty lips. They all looked the same. He went after the same type of women. He said the same. After they started talking to each other, they realized that he said the same thing to. He did the same thing. He took them out in the desert, and they stayed at a hotel, and they went to dinner, and they rode scooters, and he took them out to a picnic out in the desert, and he does the same thing to each one of these women. It's same. It's like it's his program. It's his mo. That's what he does. But he was in the Cayman Islands for a while, and I think he's like in a rehab facility right now. I believe because he's a drug addict and he would take drugs while driving and drink alcohol. And then of course he's got his public. He had two Instagram accounts. He has his own public Instagram account, right? But then he has a private one that doesn't. Nobody knows. I mean, he posts to it, but it had some really sick ass shit on it. Really, what it is. But I mean, Hollywood is a dark and I don't know. Them people are messed up out there.
Who's
They
a
do not
crazy
live.
conspiracy guy that is right now that's like having to pay the Sandy Hook people like $1 billion? What's his name?
Oh, the Infowars guy.
Yeah, yeah. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
But he every day it seems like he's more and more right. Alex Jones.
Yeah,
Um,
about a lot of things, he is right.
about he's right about a lot, but he's wrong about more. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
Um, but sometimes things that he says turns out to be true. Like Hollywood's a bunch of satanic eating kids and stuff. It's like,
I
well,
believe that.
you see something like this, and it's like, well, how off is he?
He's no, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're exactly right. He is not that far off. Hollywood is definitely a place of evil and decadence, and obviously he hides behind his celebrity to get away and get to do what he wants, not thinking that there's any consequences. And then of course he's saying that all these allegations are false.
Well, he would have to.
But he told he's like one of these girls. He's like, I would never do any of this with my wife because I respected her too much. Red flag right there. Okay, so obviously he doesn't respect you if he doesn't treat you like you treated his ex-wife. You know what I mean? Oh wow, these adult Happy Meals look pretty cool, except the food's shitty.
Anybody get one yet?
Not yet. I saw somebody on Facebook that got one.
Yeah, same. Probably the same person.
Right, you Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna eat a Big Mac or uh, McNuggets. It sounds good in theory, but so does telling a girl that you want to eat her heart and cut her skin off and eat her skin and remove a rib so you can cook it and eat it. That sounds good too, but that's only in theory.
Like, just stick with telling her you'll eat her ass or something.
So, but I am happy I got Hulu. I traded with my brother my HBO for my Hulu, right? For Hulu, so I can watch Letterkenny on Hulu now, and also the Wonder Years, the old original Wonder Years is on there. So, be stoked about that.
Anybody got a shower thought?
Oh yeah,
You do?
I got one.
He's got one, Chris. He's got one.
Yeah. So, I was
Already
just so if you guys didn't know, I drive a lot for work, and so
What?
does a lot of people. Yeah, I so I bounce around neighborhood to neighborhood, town to town, and I use GPS a lot.
This is true. He was in Sharpsville today. I saw it on
Oh, are
I
you
saw it on
stalking me,
Snapchat.
bro?
I
You
saw it on
stalking me, bro?
Snapchat.
Yeah, I was in Charlottesville today. Uh, so, uh, so at least, I mean, I know how to get. I know like where the neighborhoods are. I know how to get to each neighborhood, but the number of the houses, I don't. I don't know whether to go where's that one at? Okay, where that specific house is at in that neighborhood. That's why I use GPS, so I could get around. Okay, so what I'm getting to is what if I know what if GPS was like a real person that was interacting with you? Because uh, say you got your GPS planned, but it's kind of taking you on a route that maybe goes through more busy roads or something, or main roads or whatnot. And since I know like the way around town a little bit better, I take these side roads and maybe cut through town a little bit more. That the GPS doesn't really. It's like so every time you kind of miss a turn that the GPS suggests, that real person get more and more angrier.
Did
Like,
I call you names and swear at you?
yeah,
Or
like
he's
what?
like,
Hey,
or
you
they're like,
stupid ass! I
oh, I
told you
didn't
to
think
turn
about
right
that.
there.
Yeah, like it's like at first be like, oh, it's okay. We'll just take this next turn. Oh, you missed it again, man. Like, come on, just this next turn, and you just keep on missing it, and then like he just gets more and more angrier, and
Bitch, you ask me for
yeah,
my help, and then you don't even
yeah,
take the advice.
right. I thought it'd be funny if it was a real person. It did.
Well,
Yeah.
there was that Big Bang. There was a Big Bang episode where Raj dreamed that he was like, because he was in love with Siri. So he finds out that this Siri is like the super hot chick, and he goes to where Siri is, and of course he can't talk to her because she's this hot looking girl, and he can't talk to women. And she was like,
I think I
Raj.
remember that
She was like,
episode.
Raj, take me to bed and make love to me. And like Raj can't say anything because he can't talk to women.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
You
I don't remember that episode.
don't remember that
I
episode?
barely.
That's
No,
a great episode.
but it had to have been one of the earlier seasons. I don't want to say earlier.
Yeah. It was.
I
Yeah,
remember,
it was
I don't
probably
wanna say
within the
halfway
first 3 or
through
4 seasons.
because I mean I watched for a while until they all started getting married.
I've got all but like one season on.
Anyways, you can watch and listen to, or you can keep up with us at Twitter at Pod Nerds, Facebook at Hoosier Nerds Podcast.
Us.
You can watch and listen to us at YouTube. And if you want to listen to us at your favorite podcast places, like majority of people do,
Listen with a friend.
what
Listen with a friend.
with a friend, share the podcast.
That's
If
right.
your best friend doesn't listen to us, make sure they listen to us.
I'm up.
Time
No,
up,
don't
put
time up.
headphones on. No, time up. Take his heart
Like
out.
Army
and eat
Hammer.
it. And make him listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, or TuneIn Radio. Those are the 4 places you can force your tied up friend to listen to us. And he or she will never guess who the nerds are. That's us.